Talk Live.
I don't know. I get a little tired of hearing it, right?
The 99 is terrible. Here, I'm lacking for some reason. It's real white and flabby.
WTF. What are we doing?
Eddie, I tell everybody to listen that we're a really big deal.
Continues to grow and grow and grow.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Goat Talk Live, episode 30, by the way.
Wow.
Pretty big milestone and a perfect way to jump right into tonight's episode. But first, before we get to all the fun stuff, we got to thank our amazing sponsors, ATYL Media, for being on board, letting us broadcast on her channels, and all of that group. They do a lot for Goat Locker and everybody around. Also, SAVE22. We got the hats on for those who are in the know. SAVE22. Actually, had a conversation with a lady at a little boutique store nearby that asked me about SAVE22. Asked me, what is SAVE22? What is that about? And I got to tell her about it, and it was such a cool thing to be able to push that out there. She was like, oh, okay, and got to talk about their mission. They even pointed her to Tuesday Talk. Said, hey, go check them out. Go check that kind of stuff out. And she said, my son, grandson, I can't remember who, is in the Air Force, so really cool to have that interaction. Really love to have SAVE22 on board. They've been amazing. So SAVE22.vet, at SAVE22vet on YouTube. Hey, Dad, we're live. We're live here.
Yes, we're not pre-recording. Can't cut things out. You know, Gardner's down there playing on his phone. Jake's playing on his phone with half a headset on.
We're trying to get
Whatever.
the volume big.
Welcome to Go Talk.
Just trying to get the volume fixed. Well, of course, I got my co-host Pat here. Jake Ellingson is out of the neck brace. The insurance claim has gone through, so the neck brace come off. And we got Ken Huber here. Big, I almost called you Big Dave. Jeremy Garner with us. Alan Smith, my dad, with us, and then Riley Duncan there. Joseph McWater might be showing up at some point. We'll bring him in, but so far not here. So we got all our champions, at least most of them. We got the ARCA champions, me and my dad. We've got Patrick Dravick, who won the Friday night SAVE22 Truck Series. Jake Ellingson, your Xfinity winner. You've got Ken Huber, no surprise here, kicked everybody's butts in the GT3 Series. Yeah. You got Jeremy Garner, who won Wednesday night and the Cruising Classics Next Gen Series, and Riley Duncan, who's just been kicking everybody's butt in the late model with a controller, nonetheless, I do believe, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. But, hey, glad to have everybody in chat here tonight. We got Jason Black in the chat. Everybody will be jumping in just a few minutes. So, well, it's been a fantastic season, Pat. We've had a lot of really good races in this series. Yeah. I think, Lincoln Tech coming on board maybe made all the difference. Something we don't talk about much is Lincoln Tech, sort of the big sponsor of the spring series, and I think them coming on board has made the racing better.
Yeah, Lincoln Tech's been an awesome partner. I mean, obviously we've been partnered with them since last summer when we did the car show with them. Jake was there. Jake was hustling around getting the car unloaded and helping me load the car and strap down. I mean, we did all kinds of crazy stuff. They've been an amazing partner, and to have them come back on board this year again. So I'll be back out at the campus this Wednesday coming up, picking up a big old fat sponsorship check because they love what we're doing. Got the car show coming up with them again. We'll get the Goat Locker Racing late model stock out there. Going to get some new graphics put on it as well. So it's going to be super, super cool. But not only them, Eddie. I mean, SAVE22 came on this year too in such a tremendous way. They took over, here at Goat Talk, said, hey, heck yeah, guys, go out there and spread the word about whatever the hell y'all are doing. And then, also came on board to take over the truck series. And so they have been amazing partners as well. We have so many, we can sit here and take up an hour-long show talking about all our amazing partners. But, so excited for Lincoln Tech. They're going to be doing the IndyCar series over the summer. And then they said, you know what? We want something in the fall. So they're going to take the Xfinity series in the fall. So we'll have the Lincoln Tech Xfinity series in the fall, which I'm tremendously excited for them.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome. Breaking news. I like that.
There's never a dull day around here. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of stuff coming up in Goat
Yeah.
Locker. Goat Locker is going to be representing of quite a few races coming up. We've got some guys going down to the Coca-Cola 600. We're going to have some folks at the Indy 500, and then also some at the All-Star race, I do believe, Pat.
Yeah. So we got 4 weekend passes and parking passes donated to the All-Star race this weekend. So David Calvert and his family are going to head out to that, enjoy the weekend, which is awesome. And then we had the tickets and parking passes donated to the Indianapolis 500. And everybody knows Dan Krakiel and Tim Jones are heading to that with parts of their family. Should be an amazing thing. Going to be there as well. Christian Smith will be there. Warren will be there. Well, Warren's kind of got to be there. He's driving the baller. He's got to do some things with some tires and stuff too. So Warren's got to be there. And I know we'll have quite a few other people there. I know Mike Browning comes in every year for the Indianapolis 500. Regis Clark, I think, will be there as well. So it is going to be really cool to see everybody here in Indianapolis. And then, we've got the 8 VIP passes that were donated to Charlotte. So we got a bunch of guys going out to Coca-Cola 600. We got a house rented out there for everybody to stay at. And oh, by the way, you might run into Taylor Kitchen and get a little media time while the Goat Locker crew's out there at the Coca-Cola 600. So that's going to be awesome.
Well, I feel bad for her. That's awful.
I do too. I really do. It's not going to be good for her. Y'all be nice.
She'll have a blast. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, just scraping the bottom of the barrel. I love it.
Yeah, well, I ordered her a taser, so
mace.
Yeah, taser. We're just. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah.
You're not going anymore, so she don't need it.
Well, appreciate everybody that joined us here tonight. It's really cool. It's tough to get 8 or 7, 8 people in the same spot at the same time, and we appreciate y'all making time. Jake, how you doing? How's everything going with all the new stuff with the T-Bone? How's all that been going with you?
It's a big old process. I am still dealing with the lawyers and stuff with that. We got my grandpa's funeral coming up the day after Memorial Day, so I'll be coming back from Indy and then going right to that, and so that'll be a rough time. But overall, I mean, he was 98 years old, a World War II veteran. You don't see too many those around nowadays. But glad I got to spend the time I did with him over the years, and couldn't ask for a better man to lead the Ellenson family.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, Ken, how are you doing tonight? How's everything going? I'm gonna go one by one, just kind of introduce everybody, and if you don't mind, just kind of say who you are, where you've been racing, and kind of what your background is. We don't know much about you there, Ken.
No, I'm kind of new to the league. I was just looking at Joseph McWhorter's camera there, and I was thinking, wow, he's got one hell of a sim rig there. So must do that that sim rig truck racing or whatever it is. So that's pretty awesome. But no, I joined the league. I think it was back in January. I can't remember how I found you guys exactly, and went to the GT3 league or series. Really enjoy running GT3 cars, although my background was in ovals. Like most of you, probably 25 years ago with the old NASCAR racing sims. Mm-hmm. Did a lot of oval racing. And over the past, I would say 5 years, I really got into road racing. Really enjoyed road racing. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm getting halfway is pretty good at it. And now I'm looking forward to the 87 series that we're going to be doing in the summer series and going back to ovals again. So I'll be rotating back to ovals again. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited. I mean, no surprise, I'm excited about this 87. Any chance you open the door so I can talk about it? I can't wait.
We go.
The
87s. I grew up, as far as NASCAR goes. My dad bought me a brand new '83 Monte Carlo SS for a high school graduation present.
Nice.
And I was addicted to NASCAR because those two things went together. So. I had that Monte Carlo for a number of years, sold it for a 442. I went through the military, that if you want to know more of my backstory, I spent a decade in the military, kind of didn't follow NASCAR too much until maybe 97, 96, really started getting back into NASCAR, and I bought a 2001 Monte Carlo SS. So, I couldn't help myself. I was always a Chevy guy, and And yeah, so then I got out of the military and went to work for Homeland Security and did some border enforcement activities for 25 years. And now you guys find me here. I happily retired a couple years ago, and now
Nice.
I'm spending my time with you guys, just beating my head around the track, I guess.
Yeah,
We
I
love
really
it.
like how you said you're kind of getting good at the road racing stuff. Yeah.
Well, there's been a couple of guys. So there's some. So first of all, there's some guys that are actually really fast in there.
Mhm.
Brian Provo doesn't show up every week, but he's super fast. The two
Mhm.
guys, the second and third guys, those guys are both pretty quick too. They're just they're just a notch from being really good, right? So in a year or so, those guys will probably be kicking my butt. And then you got Cody. I think it's McElwain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's super fast.
Yeah.
He dusted me at one track. I remember just left me like I was just standing still.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Nate.
yeah.
And there's another one, Nate, and he hasn't
Yeah.
been a regular all season too, but he's really fast too. So if everybody was there all season, the championship might have looked a little different. So, but I was lucky enough to pull it out. So I wouldn't say I'm the fastest guy out there, but I will say I'm probably really consistent. A lot of guys call me the Metrodome. So when I'm road racing, I just drone. I get the same lap times. It might not be the fastest, but I do enough to bring home victory quite a bit. So
Yeah. I can't wait to get back out on the track with you in the
Yeah.
the GT3 series this summer. I cannot wait. I had to miss quite a few races, pretty much the whole season, and I'm really bummed out about that because I was so excited. Can't wait.
Yeah.
This summer series is going to be a blast. Well, Garner, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome.
I'm here. I'm just here to harass Pat a little bit tonight.
Hey, that's why we love it.
No.
And then I'm gonna speed right past. We're gonna get back to you. Got my dad in here. How about that? Alan Smith, your Arc Glove Station ARCA Series amateur champion, with us here tonight, and we were able to get him up to speed with technical stuff and get him on the podcast. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I forgot we were live, and I'm helping people over here, So, but yeah, it's good to be here. And hey, I went to my first race in Talladega in 1984, and my buddy that I worked for, I was 17 years old. My buddy had a 1984 Monte Carlo Super Sport, and man, I felt
That's
like
awesome.
I was in hog heaven, man. We were going up there passing everybody, weaving in and out of traffic and stuff, and then we go to Talladega, and I'm hooked, So that you know what's wrong with that. So
That's right. Hey, weren't you at the race that the guy stole the pace car at?
yep,
You at that
we were
race?
there. Yeah, we were there. The guy stole the pace car. I'm sitting there looking at him, and they didn't have all the radios and stuff back then, And so I'm sitting there looking, and I see this guy. He's a redheaded guy, but he's got an afro looking deal. You know what I'm saying? And he's bushy hair and everywhere. And he jumps. The guy gets out of the pace car, and he goes back and talks to one of the officials. And I see this guy jump the fence, and I'm like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Man, he jumps in the pace car, and man, that thing says, man, he takes off, and of course you see the guy running back trying to catch the car like he's going to catch it. But the funniest thing was he took around the first lap, and they're clearing the track and everything, and everybody's trying to, they're trying to get everybody off the track so the guy don't run over nobody. So when he comes around the first time, he's probably running at 100 mile an hour, and he comes around, and when he does, this time he cranks it up, buddy, and so then the little Alabama highway patrol that were on the motorcycles, they go up on the high banks there for the second, didn't take them long to come back down. I promise you it did. Anyway, when he comes back around, y'all, I was down at the start finish line. When he come around the second time, he was hammered down, and man, you could hear the crowd. It was so loud, and that those stands are a mile long from one end to the other, and they were roaring so loud. It was almost deafening. But when he came through the second time, man, if you watch the video, they pull him out on the back stretch. They pull him out by that bushy hair, and them Alabama cops raise their hand, and the camera goes off. It was amazing. It really was.
I know those highway patrol guys were excited. This is our time to get on the track.
That's right. Get him.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we got another driver that we haven't really met before. A couple more that we really don't know very well, and Riley Duncan, who came in to run the Thursday night late model series. And so Riley, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, glad. How did you find us? And tell us a little about yourself.
I was honestly just looking for something to run. I had nothing to do on Thursday nights, and I went on to the league page on iRacing, and sure enough, you guys were the first one that popped up.
Boredom. Hey, I love it. Boredom gets you into Goat Locker. That I like it. I'll take it. And then you got your Sunday InVets winner. That's Joseph McWhorter coming in on the road in his big American truck sim rig that he's got there on the road. Where you at, Joseph?
Right now I'm in like an hour and a half, like an hour and 10 minutes outside of St. Louis on 70.
Okay, well, hey, can't appreciate you enough for joining us on the side of the road. That's pretty baller. I like that. That's the commitment right there. So glad to have everybody here. So incredible seasons. Thank you all so much for joining us and everybody watching. This is sort of the championship edition. It's so cool to be able to have every single champion this season in here with us. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the seasons and talk about the series and get these guys' opinions and talk about some other stuff. But Pat, is there anything in the nonprofit world we need to talk about, or are we just ready to move on? Give you that opportunity. Sorry.
Well, I think one of the biggest things we need to talk about is May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we've got a lot of social media stuff going on. A lot of organizations do, but it's a good time to reflect on our mission and what we stand for and why we exist. I mean, we exist to help prevent veteran suicide and mental health struggles. So May is a great month to recognize that. May is also Memorial Day coming up and things like that. So there'll be a lot of really cool ceremonies and remembrance and things like that. So if you're out there and you're struggling a little bit, please reach out. Memorial Day can bring up some memories and some thoughts and things along those lines, especially with those veterans. I know me and my family, we go out and we clean headstones and we place flags and things like that. So we'll go out there and celebrate and in our own way. But if you need us, we're here. I hope everybody does have a great Memorial Day and those types of things. But remember, check in on your friends. We're all here for each other.
100%. If you don't want to talk to anybody here, go over there to Tuesday Talk. Every Tuesday they're talking about it. So those guys will they'll get into it with you. I mean, they'll get into it right there on stream. They'll see what they'll talk to you and they'll put you out on blast and they'll talk about it. Well, all right. Well, let's talk about the seasons. We'll go through the week. And we'll start with Sunday night. That's Joseph McWhorter, the InVets Truck Series champion. Joseph, congratulations first off on winning championship. I feel like you had a very, very good season. I actually had the stats that I'll pull up real quick before we let you get into it.
Eventually.
Wait, I got the wrong ones.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Well, it's okay. It's all good. We're not season stats. There we are right there.
So one of the things we do at the end of each season is, I say I point my finger at Jake and tell him to do it, and then he just goes and does it, is just crunch the numbers. It's always cool to see, how many laps we ran in each series, how many lead changes we had, average number of, just kind of break down the series itself. So there it is up on screen right there. And some really cool stuff there. But to see some of the things that happened over the season, to kind of just lay them out there, it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, awesome. Race winners, eight different race winners, 5 average cautions. Somebody's dog's getting with it. 5 average cautions per race. Let's see, 18 average drivers per race, which I think is fantastic. Total lead changes 118, and 82% laps ran under green flag conditions. Pretty amazing. And have 8 different winners. That seems to be sort of the story, the tail of the tape when it comes to Goat Locker racing is that right there. So, what better to ask is the champion. I was race control for a few of the races. And first off, I want to thank Daniel Kirkill for running that show and others. I'm sure somebody else had their hand in it, but Daniel was the one messaging me every week going, hey, you going to be there? Or what do I need to do? And what do you think about this? He was running the show. So big shout out to Daniel Kirkill for running that whole deal. But Joseph, talk to us about the season. Congratulations. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a good season, a little bit up and down. We knocked out those 2 wins early and then kind of finished out the season just kind of struggling with technical issues with PC and my VR headset's causing issue, and we had a lot of races where we'd end up dropping out and then having to come back in and just gather whatever spots we could. It was just a really fun season. I wasn't really planning on even making a championship run. I was gonna just kind of run part time, because Lucas Lyons invited me to the league, and sorry, and it was originally just gonna just show up every once in a while at the tracks I wanted to race, and we had that really good run at Charlotte that should have been a win, but we didn't pull the right strategy, which was kind of the story of our season. Whenever I did get to complete all the laps, was what strategies to pull, because it was with the way the fuel load is and the race links, it was really challenging. And with some of the random yellows that we had, it kind of cost me a few times. I don't have the golden horseshoe like Mark does. Apparently, that dude won pretty much every race he got in this season. But still, to have 8 different winners in 15 races, I mean, that's incredible. The green flag racing has been incredible over the last right towards the last couple of races in the regular season that we got into really good green flag racing, and then it just carried on into the playoffs, and where we only had, I think, like 1 or 2 cautions per race to the end of the season. I mean, we went Auto Club flag to flag with no cautions. Texas was only 1, which was my fault. We went into championship night at a track that I do not like whatsoever. I said it in my interview. I hate Dude Texas with a passion. I don't like that track.
I think we all do.
It's a very bad track, and
it's amazing.
Kind of ran out of talent out of turn 2. Luckily, nobody hit me, and I didn't hit anything, and we just had to put our head down and go get them. I mean, surprisingly, all the championship 4 was just way faster than me through practice. They out-qualified me every single one of them. I was kind of hoping that it would stay green, and I was able to utilize my long-run pace to take advantage of at least 2 of them. Charles was the one that I was really the most worried about, because he was laying down really fast laps in practice, really consistent in practice, but unfortunately, pit road kind of was his unveiling there, so we were able to take advantage of it, slowly move up. But I mean, all 4 of us finished inside the top 10, so it was a really competitive season all season long, and really fun.
Yeah. Well, look back on the season. Is there any battles that kind of stick out to you? Any races that stick out besides maybe the championship? Obviously, that's a big one. But is there a race or something that kind of sticks out from the whole season?
I think Charlotte, my first race with you guys, was probably one of the ones that was the biggest, where I was on a couple lap older tires and was side by side with David Duke for pretty much like the last 10 laps of that race. Or I think it was even longer than that. We were just side by side, me holding up the high side, trying to do what I could, hoping for another yellow. And then my bold strategy to take 2 tires at Lucas Oil and put myself in front of Mark and I don't remember who the other person was. It was either Jesse or Andy, I can't remember, but where I was basically having to just hold off every restart on 2 tires for almost the entire race. But unfortunately, one mistake and Mark got around me. So those are 2 that those were, I think, some of the most fun racing that I've had in a while.
Yeah. Well, I kind of saw that from the race controller's perspective early in the season, which it seems like all series are like this. Early in the season, it's sort of everybody's trying to get used to each other, and there's a lot of people that kind of show up, and it can always be a little bit messy. But as we got to the 4th, 5th race, it started to really kind of the competition was really good. The racing was solid. Everybody was driving with a lot of respect. It just seemed like the Sunday series was sort of its own little microcosm of just good racing, and it seemed like every week it was. I see everybody else's race control, specifically like the Thursday night late models, and I see everybody's posts, and I'd post nothing, no problems here. So yeah. It was the easiest series to race control for sure.
It definitely was. It was really fun. I mean, like those first couple of races of me being there, it was a little caution heavy, but once we got more further into the season and everybody was getting used to the trucks and the new tire model with the trucks and everything else, it seemed like we started to roll and get better momentum all the way into that those last few races of the regular season, and then it was just running from there, where we still had 20, 25 guys per race at the end of the season, and
Yep.
we were still pulling off 1 to 2 cautions a race at the end of the season, which was amazing.
Yeah. Well, shout out to InVets for
Mhm.
sponsoring that series and all the drivers that race in there. It's some really solid drivers. The racing was good all the way through. And shout out to Charles Avert there. Showed up ready to freaking race in that championship race. So just want to shout him out. I thought he came up, he showed up ready to roll. So that was exciting.
Yeah, and I told him
But
firsthand that he was way faster than me. I didn't have that kind of short run pace. I don't know where he was pulling those lap times out to be competitive with Mark, and he was just really fast. But unfortunately, his pit stops were the undoing of that. So it was really unfortunate, because I think that would have been a really good battle had I got up back to him.
yeah. Well, fantastic season. Congratulations to you, Joseph. It was a very, very solid season. It's almost like you shouldn't have invited your friend Mark. That's what you should have done.
I tried not to. Trust me, I tried not to.
Maybe that was a big mistake. I don't know. But you're able to get the championship. Congratulations on your first Goat Locker championship. Well deserved. And I got, well, you know what? Acoustic music's still playing. Let me give you some clapping. Here we go.
Oh boy.
All right, champion for the InVets Truck Series. Big order. We'll move on to Monday nights and Glove Station ARCA Series, and that Pat, why don't you ask the question?
Yeah, I'll take over the interview with this one here. So, the ARCA Series has its two divisions. We got our Pro Series and our Amateur division, both of them competing at the same time. I mean, we talked about it all season long, how exciting it was going to be to watch 8 drivers on championship night battle for 2 different championships, and it did not disappoint whatsoever. So, Eddie, for the second year in a row, you're the Pro Division champion, or second season in a row, I should say. And I know we had some Jake, yeah. What?
Eddie's the only person since we started GLR to go back to back in the champions.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll take it. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Very, very well for
Nope.
me, huh?
Season 4 and season 5 of trucks.
I said back to back. You didn't go season 5, season 4.
Shut up. All right, moving on.
Dang technicalities. That gummit.
Shut up.
Save that stat for another day.
I'm gonna have to, I guess, or whatever the case is. But yeah, Eddie, you won for the second season in a row. You won the Pro Division championship, and we had the big, kind of mix up in the middle of the season where we swapped out the car, and some people liked it, and some people whined. There were some whiners. But tell us about the season. Tell us about that car swap mid-season, and then how you brought it home.
Yeah, I mean, the ARCA Series has turned into this really cool, interesting, singular type of series where it's hard to really describe exactly what it is, because the ARCA Series wanted to be something that we newer guys jumped into, because it's the D-class car, and so newer guys that come in, they want to race ovals, that's to be the place they would start. And but the pros, the guys who've been here for a long time, pros is such a loose term. We're not pros at all. It's just what the line, or what we're called in the series. But the guys that have been around here for a while love the ARCA car too, the old one, and it was the most fun car to drive in the service. So it was like, how do we make this work? And then you guys come up with a fantastic idea of doing a GT3 Pro-Am split, which it was brilliant when I heard it. I thought, my gosh, what an amazing idea! And I cannot tell you, I was high on it to start the season, and to the very last race, I think it nailed it. What the idea was, the series was perfect. It was so cool to follow through the season, have a pro winner, have an amateur winner every single race. The guys that were hanging out with us, pros were really kind of taking amateurs under their wing and really trying to help and make them better. There were a lot of amateurs over there in our Discord that we were racing in that, were, hey, during practice, how do I do this? What do we need to do? How do I get better? What line are you running? And that is the best thing. I love that more than anything, is to be able to have that ability. Everybody's got teams in different series, but, in a weird way, we're competitive. We don't always want to give our secrets to the people we're competing with. You
True.
know, there's that deep down, even if you're just a nice,
True.
I'll share anything guy, you don't give that one little secret.
Mhm.
But when you're the amateur and the pro division, well, for me, there is no secrets. What's this?
Oh, we're talking about guys that don't want to give away secrets when they're
Oh,
competing
Jake
at
don't
a
want to
high,
give away secrets.
you know, for like championships. And I'll be talking to him, and he'll just shut his mouth. He's like, I'm not saying nothing.
Well, it was so cool to be able to have that and see those guys get better. We had an unofficial Pro-Am championship that was
We
super
did,
fun to keep up with that. And Devin Smith, shout him out. He was a Pro-Am champion as well, unofficial. So it's not something that we officially, that's something I just did for fun. And he was on my team, and we kicked butt. So Devin Smith got so much better. One of the Sim Rig recipients. Shout out to him. He was so positive. I'll tell you what, in our chat, and my dad can kind of allude to this, there's a lot of frustration that comes out. A little, gosh dang it, dang it, this sucks, or oh, this didn't go my way. But Devin's one of the few super positive guys all the way through. He never really got out of shape, so I want to shout him out. But yeah, such a cool season. I thought it went amazing, and to be able to share the championship with my dad, to race with him again, was just amazing. And then we had no idea we'd have an opportunity to win the championship together. And I told Jonah, I said, that'll be a moment that I just kind of need to kind of like blink your eyes twice and kind of save that memory and just go, man, this is cool. This don't get much better than this. So, and that brings us to the amateur winner, Alan Smith.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Somewhere.
I know, he's over there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, he's down there. There you go. They were Brady bunching here. Well, I know you were excited about the series, and I know you were excited about racing. Talk to me about the season, how it went for you, and yeah, just excited to win the championship together.
Oh my goodness, man, it was so good. Well, I was just excited that I could be a part of the amateur series because I knew I couldn't get up there and run with the pros, and of course I was having trouble until you and my precious wife got me an upgrade, as you said earlier. And so anyway, then I just decided, hey, this sounds like something I want to do. So I get in here and I thought, okay, we've got people that are running that are my caliber, drivers, and I can run around. And then the second race in, I'm saving fuel, just trying to save fuel. And next thing you know, everybody's running out, and I'm passing everybody, and I win a race, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I won a race. Did I win a freaking race? I think I won. I'm in a holler, Jay, come here. I think I won a race. So anyway, it was just so exciting to see that happen. And then, like I say, I'm kind of like Joseph. I had no idea. I wasn't planning on running for a championship. I was just coming in, having fun with these guys, sitting in Discord listening. But just to get in there and to the respect that those guys have, and they give you plenty of room. And we have a few accidents and bumps here and there and stuff. But it was amazing to be able to get in there, and even see those AM guys run up there in the front, in the top 2 and 3 was amazing, and I'm like, wow, these guys this is awesome. So anyway, and then it got down to the final 4, and I thought, man, I have no reason being in this final 4, and so anyway, and then but here's the thing: every time I asked for help, it was the time that I won the race at the right time because I needed help and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I asked for help in that last race there. And of course, man, you were able to show me some things that I was having a lot of trouble with. And I like those long green flag runs. I like and so anyway, I got real aggressive. I got aggressive. I decided it was time for, to get aggressive. And I decided that, on that championship race, when I decided I was trying to find that grass there on the inside there, somebody had told me in the Discord, he said, if you're going to get around me, you're going to have to go through the grass. And I didn't think he was serious, but I dropped those left wheels in the grass to make that happen, and stuff. And I started thinking about the
Hey.
pass in the grass. Hey, it was pretty cool. Anyway, but we had a really really good season, and I'd love to go back and do it again. I don't know where I'm going to end up this next time, but I did. The car change didn't really mess with me that much. I didn't notice that much difference. If you don't know what to expect with the old car and the new car comes out, and you don't know you're not any good in either one of them. It's okay, So it really didn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? I just try to keep my nose cleanest out. But I'm gonna tell you what, like Eddie said, you could ask my mom. Of course, we talked about my mom in the broadcast. Her watching them, and she's something she loves to do because she gets to be a part of this, and my wife does too. And so my wife, we were just talking about, it, and I said, this is a moment I can probably will never happen again. It will probably it's something that I'm so glad that Goat Locker does this kind of stuff and allows me to be a part of it. And I'm just honored to come in and race for these guys, but especially to get to race with Eddie. And us to have that father and son championship, that was just, man, every time somebody would see that on YouTube, they're messaging me, oh man, how awesome that is. That's just so amazing, so. But I'm just so glad I taught Eddie to race when he was younger, and
That's good.
He took it a little further, but I wouldn't let him. I didn't want him to play too many of them fighting games and stuff, when he was a kid and stuff. So I probably embarrass him here, but I let him play NASCAR games because we were going to NASCAR races, and he was a Jeff Gordon fan, and so anyway,
easy.
We got some allies in here. Relax.
Easy.
He needed some help. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everything Goat Locker does, and I can't wait to get back. I might even race another series. I'm gonna try that '87 series. I want to do that pit crew challenge thing or whatever it is.
Come join us in the trucks on Sunday.
Yeah. See, my problem is I work so much. I don't get off work till like 7 o'clock at night, and so y'all are already starting. So I have to take off early to get here on Monday night. So anyway, yeah.
Well, yeah, it was amazing. Like the last few laps, I'm leading the race, and Andy Curtis trying to hawk me down, and all I could think was Jonah was in the Discord with me, and he was telling me what was going on. I was like, did he pass him? Is he getting around? Yeah, he's passing Holt right now, and I'm not even really thinking about what's going on with me. I'm worried about what's going on with you, and then they're like, okay, he got around him. I said, okay, he's good. Now David Calvert's running him down. I'm like, come on, get him. I'm cheering you on from a different Discord, and just hoping. And Jonah said, you know what, I'm happy for you, but I really want your dad to win. And I said, I know, me too. So, yeah, it's so cool, such a cool little thing. For us, and fantastic season for you. You kick butt, and you definitely deserve to be the champion. So, congratulations! And a great season. It's really awesome to run with everybody that raced. That series it's a little bit more. I don't know. You're not going to say messy, but there's so much going on. There's 2 races going on inside of the race, and so there's always going to be some different things going on. And you've got guys that are brand new, and then you got some guys that have been racing for a long time. So it definitely changes it. But race winners 12. You got 5 pro winners and 7 amateur winners, which is awesome. The cautions per race not too terrible, and 73%. Ran under green flag. Pretty amazing all the way around. But I thought that series was awesome. I just can't say enough how cool it is to crown 2 champions in one night, have the 2 standings. And there's been a lot of folks that have been like, hey, we need to – I know nobody wants to hear this, but, hey, we need to do Pro-Am for every series. So that shows that it's
no.
It's a lot of work, guys.
It is.
That's the thing. Yes. It's a lot of extra work to do it and do it right, and they did it right. And so let's just keep it in the Arkansas. Let's let this be what it is. So talk a little bit about that. How difficult was it to keep up with that, Jake or Pat, and what did it take to kind of keep that, where it was? How hard was that to keep up with?
I needed an assistant. That's how hard it was. Dan helps me out with ARCA every Monday.
Mhm.
You know, every day, me and him are communicating about the ARCA series on who's going to be where and, you know, what needs to happen. You know, we're running through replays constantly to try to get things right. And then when season end comes around, I mean, I don't even think the race was over more than, you know, 3.5 minutes. And Dan was messaging me, hey, what are we going to do about rosters for next season, for the fall season? So, I mean, he's already on top of it, but it's definitely almost another full-time job running the ARCA series.
Well, I'll tell you what, Daniel Kerkeel sort of got like immunity status for me. I think if anybody were to talk crap about Daniel Kerkeel, they're going to get the full force of Goat Locker, I promise you. Because that dude does a ton of work, more than nobody asks him to do some of this stuff. Like he just goes out and does it on his own, and it's I said in the admin chat, I said, hey guys, we need to have customer IDs with people's names. I need that somehow. And the next day I had a full list of spreadsheet from him that he'd done. I was just unbelievable. So Daniel Kerkeel is the GOAT of the year, in my opinion. And if you say one bad thing about Daniel, I promise you, you'll get.
Eddie's going to throw hands.
Oh man, you're getting the whole thing. I promise you. So don't do that. That Daniel Kerkeel's got Goat Locker immunity. But Jake as well. Jake, you put in a lot of work too. I'm not trying to put you down or anything, but you've been a huge part of that too. Same type of deal. You know, it's you put in a lot of work that nobody asks you to do, or Pat asks you to do a bunch of stuff and you do it, and you do it. And you don't expect a thank you or you know, go get them or how you did it type thing. So we appreciate you as well, and everybody that has volunteered their time, not just those two. But those two have been a lot.
You guys.
It happens. It's all right.
We like Mark. Mark might be fast, but he's nice and clean, and he's a swell guy. So we'll take those. What'd you say?
You just haven't got to know him yet. Don't blow him up too much.
Okay.
Hey, one more stat I wanted to bring up. Did you notice? Did you guys notice that there were 29 cars, average of 29 cars in the ARCA series?
That was incredible.
Was awesome. I thought that was awesome. They were averaging that many cars.
The ARCA series had the highest average driver count out of any series that we run here in GLR.
Yeah. That's
tremendous.
Cool, man. Yeah.
And had it been on
another testament.
Go ahead. I just thought had it been on a different night or something, you know, that but man, you're on Monday night and you got the most guys there, and I just thought that was incredible. So I thought that when I saw that stat, I said, wow.
I think it's a testament to the Pro-Am split. I mean, these guys, you never really feel out of it. You know, you kind of have something to fight for, even if you may not be the fastest driver. You know, so I think it just all goes back. What a great idea! I don't know who pitched the idea. Who do we need to high five? Who pitched the initial idea? Was it you or Barkus?
I thought it was you.
Was it me?
I thought it was you too, Eddie.
Oh,
you originally said something, and then we just ran with it.
Okay. Well, I don't remember that, but we won't toot my horn then. But we'll just say y'all taking the idea and actually implement it.
There we go. We'll run with that.
I don't remember that. I think it might have been Barkus. So we'll shout him out. But yeah, fantastic season. Great job by everybody. Man, really appreciate all the Sim Rig recipients coming out racing that series. It's been amazing. You know, and I know, Josh Unger has gotten a lot better. There's a couple points where he didn't even know what flag meant what. It's like, I don't know what that means. What does it mean when it's a yellow flag? I have no idea. And he was up there leading some of the races, kicking butt. So improve it. That's what I love to see. I love to see folks coming in there, but feeling like they can improve. They can go out and make mistakes. You know, Unger stayed out a couple times on old tires. And, hey, you got to learn somehow. And that's how you do it. And I love that you can come out and do that on Monday nights. And I think that's a great series and super successful. All right, well, let's move on to the Tuesday night Hidden Wit Brewing Company Xfinity Series. And that championship went to Jake Ellingson. And Jake, I don't know, do you feel like that you kind of came out of left field? You came out and you're just like, you were good. You were struggling at some point. You came back. I was happy to broadcast that series, but man, you came in that final race, the final four, and you Joey Logano there and kicked everybody's butt.
I tried not to be honest. I was just running a race and happy that I was competing for a championship, to be honest. And that's the God honest truth.
Well, congratulations on your Xfinity Series championship. Total races 15, 9 different winners in that series. And is that right? 27 average drivers per race?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, that's more than the Monday night series.
Nope.
No, Monday had 29.
29.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, hey, impressive stat there for sure. 87% laps ran on a green flag. How about that?
It was just phenomenal. Logan did a really good job and with the schedule and keeping the guys under control throughout the season. And man, it was an amazing season.
Yeah, shout out to Logan for doing that and running that series and everybody that helped with it. I was able to broadcast that series, and it's one of the best one for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's not a premier series, it's not a newbie series. It's sort of in between.
Mhm.
The Xfinity car has a special certain way about it, and Pat, you ran in that series. What's your kind of takeaways from inside the car?
Yeah, for me, the Xfinity car is the best car on the service. I love racing that car. I think it performs well at a lot of different tracks, and it's a lot of fun to drive. You don't have the complications of the next gen car. It's not a truck, so it's not incredibly kind of underpowered, and you can get out there and really race that car. So it provides for some really awesome racing. And so I think a lot of the guys that show up in Xfinity understand that car, and so we put on a lot of really, really good races all season long. And for Jake to get his second Xfinity championship was really, really cool. And he did it by just kicking the crap out of us at Texas.
Yeah.
Just dominated that race. He last minute addition, like you said, Joey Logano did, and then said, well, if I'm going to show up to this thing, I guess I'm just going to kick the crap out of everybody. And so he did. And so congratulations to him, but everybody in that Xfinity series, when we look at some of those stats, like average number of drivers, at the beginning of the season, we had a lot and it kind of teeters off a little bit, but I love looking at that average and knowing that, each one of these series is doing extremely well, is very popular, but it was a fun season, a real fun season. And congratulations, Jake. Hell of a championship, man.
Thank you. Got lucky with it. It was a caution on lap 39 that put us really close on fuel, so it was a very, very close fuel save to the end. And I just
you did it hurt.
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, I did. I did have the neck brace on. I got the neck brace off last week Wednesday. So I've been doing a lot of PT since then, though. But it was trying to maneuver my feet to how I wanted it because I felt it all the way up my back.
Yeah.
And I felt it in my neck the entire race, trying to move my feet around and it was painful. I was glad the race was over by the time it was done.
I think it helped you to be in pain like that because, the Incredible Hulk, he goes from just banner to getting mad really quick and blows up and turns into this Green Hulk. And then he said once he kind of learned how to deal with it, it's because he was always angry. So maybe you being in pain, you kind of started off mad and you never had to blow up mad, you just kind of always stayed in that zone. So maybe that's the ticket. You need to get hit by more cars.
Well, Pat was in my ear in the team chat, keeping me calm too towards the end. So,
yeah. Well, and if those who don't know, he was added in to the championship race. He was not supposed to be in the championship, and Christopher Morse Jr. wasn't able to make the championship race. Right. Let everybody know. And one thing about Goat Locker, everybody criticizes Goat Locker's decisions a lot. There's a lot of criticism that comes in about decisions that are made in the league, but there are times where they make the right decision many times during the season, where they make the right call, and they do that a lot, and they don't get any credit for that. And this was the right call. They made it twice this week. A call of, hey, look, somebody's not going to – why we're going to have 3 people racing for a championship? Let's have 4. Move the next guy up, and that's the right call. And so Goat Locker makes a lot of right calls that y'all don't shout out, and I'm going to shout them out right now. This is one of them for sure. They do the right thing a lot of times, and it makes I just makes sense. It's common sense mentality. I like the idea. So he wasn't even supposed to be there. Comes in, he's hurt, and he wins a dang championship. Unseats his teammate Pat, who we thought was primed to make another Xfinity run. Man, I thought for sure after last season, where you didn't have a win up until like the penultimate race before the playoffs started, and you just went on a tear in the playoffs. And then same thing was going on this season. You were just kicking butt, kind of set yourself apart. And then Texas, just what happened?
Didn't work out.
What was going on? Tell me.
I sucked. I mean, there's not much more I could say about that race. I just sucked. I couldn't figure out that track for the life of me until Friday night came around. So, but yeah, man, congratulations to Jake. I mean, just put on a hell of a show, and that, like you were talking about, Eddie. I mean, I'm more happy for him than it would have been me parking in victory lane. So, cool stuff. And so as we move on here, Jeremy Gardner won the Cup Series, so now we can talk about Thursday. We're gonna go ahead and just straight move on to Thursday, because I'd much rather talk to Riley Duncan than I would Jeremy Gardner.
I'd rather talk to him than you too. So
yeah, but the cool thing about Wednesday is this is the first time that we made it a Premier Cup Series. We decided this year to have 2 Premier Series. That way, the best of the best drivers we have a series that they can go race in. It's a paid series, so there's some cash payouts during the year, and at the end of the season, it's a championship belt instead of the trophy. So this was the first season of the Premier Cup season, and it was an incredible season. Had a whole hell of a lot of fun battling Gardner all season long. But Jeremy, talk about your season, man.
Oh, I beat you a lot, so that's a plus. We're gonna
hold up. How many races did you win?
4. You got 3.
How many did I win?
Be quiet.
Yeah, 4. 4. Yeah, so you didn't beat me a lot. Carry on.
Each one of you were tied with 4 wins. So
carry on.
Average finish. Anyway, I mean, it was a great season. I mean, it was me, Pat, Brandon. I mean, Eddie was there, Jesse was there. I mean, dude, it was honestly, it's probably the best racing I've seen here. I've been here 3 years now.
Yep.
And I mean, dude, it was phenomenal. I mean, the racing was great. I don't think we had many cautions at all. Dude, those races went green all the way. So it was all strategy, all came down to skill. I mean, dude, I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, that was great. Going into Texas though, God, I was running practice. Yeah, I was running fast last, but I had zero confidence, dude. I kept overdriving. The setup felt a little tight, and then it would go build loose, and I was like, oh, this is going to be hell. So, well, I beat Pat by 13 seconds. We're not going to talk about that though, but great night. Had to do it to you. No, dude, it was a great season. I mean, I will say this is the first season me and Pat have not run into each other.
That's true. We did not. We
did
no on-track incidents.
We did not run into each other. Truck Series, Wednesday, nothing. I am so proud of you.
Takes 2 to tango there, buddy.
I'm so proud of you, buddy.
Takes 2 to tango.
Damn.
I'll see you in the summer series.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Y'all hyping it up. I wasn't going to run it, but I'm going to run it. So,
well, that series, we had the Maconey fixed setups and so that Premier Series with the Maconey Entertainment, which Dylan Coyle and Jordan, I think Jeremy Briggs, excuse me, did a fantastic job broadcasting those races. I thought that those broadcasts were pretty incredible, I mean the racing was good. I thought you guys talking about the pit strategies and stuff. There's a lot of races. There was one race that that people were blowing tires that we're having such long runs. So, really awesome season. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Pat.
Oh, that's typical every week.
But yeah, so I mean, is there anything memorable outside of the championship race? Garner, you were on the team with Brandon Evans. You and him kind of linked up and from the Premier setup shop team. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, now that you bring that up, he was part of the SAVE22 team. Shout out to him, man. I mean, honestly, I hated next gens. I mean, kind of like, you kind of hate them. I hear you from time to time. I don't know. I hated those cars at one time. And, Brandon's like, hey, you're getting on the Premier team. You're driving next gen. I'm like, no, I'm not. I hate those cars. And over time, he taught me how to drive them. Here's what you need to learn. Here's what you need to do. And now here I am stomping his ass every week. But shout out to him for helping me like those cars. I think they put on great racing. Most tracks, I mean, I will say they kind of suck. Don't get me wrong, but they're fun. I mean, memorable wise, I mean, all season, I mean, every race was great. I mean, I had maybe one bad race, but it was fun all season. That's probably the funnest I've had. I mean, I normally run trucks, but that was probably the best season I think I've had.
Yeah. I just I feel like it's just I don't know. Week to week it changes. I drive. Maybe it's the setup as well. Can definitely affect how much fun it is. I go race in another series with a fixed setup, full fuel, and it drives great. And then you get in, a setup that's built for a different time or something. It seems like next gen is just super sensitive to temperature changes, setups, and all that kind of stuff has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Or it can be a frustrating deal, just like the deal you talked about at Texas. My goal, because I felt like I was so underwhelming as far as just raw speed, that I said, well, I just got to do good at strategy. And so I started saving really hard at Texas. And for some reason, if you saved with that setup, you end up super loose.
Yep.
And if you pushed hard, it balanced. It went, it went from sort of a neutral to maybe neutral tight almost. It was a very weird setup.
Yeah, they have kind of an in between. You overdrive them, you'll know it. If you underdrive them, you'll know it. So if you kind of hit the point in between, the car is actually great. But it's kind of like consistency comes down to them. I mean, they're hard to explain, but this is kind of a thing that comes to you over time, and you'll eventually learn them. I've tried to preach that to Jake multiple times, but I think I kind of helped him. I was coaching him a couple of weeks ago at one race he was at, and I think he got a P3 and a mid split. So
Yeah.
P2 actually. So I mean, it comes to you over time. I mean, they're easy. Okay, well, I'm here. What's up? I'll teach you.
I hate the next gen with a burning passion. It's on my Saturday Night League, and I went from being a championship driver in that car and then was out of it for like a year and a half, and now I don't understand it. I don't know what's different.
Just like I had to preach it to Dum Dum. Oh, right here. Where are we at? Dum Dum up here how to drive Texas. Oh, right here. Here we go. Right here. This Dum Dum right here. I helped him a little bit. It's a easy, dude. That new Texas is super easy to drive. You just can't overdrive it. But overall, man, my next gen season was great.
Saturday Night League.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That sounds like some Jake Ellingson stuff. But anyway, I'm here to show love tonight.
Well, yeah, amazing season. The next gen, I think, put on some really good racing. It did what it was supposed to do. It put the best drivers and pitted them against each other and said, "Go get it." And I think we had a very solid season. Let me get that graphic up right here. There it is. 15 races, 6 different winners, and the 90% laps run under green flag. I think that is pretty much
awesome.
That's a tale of the season in the Wednesday night series. So Cruising Classics was a sponsor there. Solid first run of a Premier Series was this one. So and that's a good thing about Go Locker. There are going to be cars that you don't like on iRacing. It just is. There's just so many things out there. You might not like the next gen. Well, guess what? You got the Xfinity car. You may not like that. You got the next gen. You got the trucks. You got 2 trucks, damn it. And you got GT3s now. You got the late models. You got what the heck you want to race? Go Locker's got it now. It's incredible. So got something for everybody. The next gen is cool because that's what they race in real life. So you kind of feel like that's what you want to get good at. You want to be like the guys. And I'll tell you what, before we move on, I'll tell you, I don't normally love plate racing, but the next gen car to me puts on some of my favorite plate racing right now because you have so much control. You have so much control on helping somebody win or trying to be. There's a lot of skill involved because of bubble. You have to break through the bubble. The Atlanta race that Pat won, I was yelling at him. He was yelling at me. I was like, break the bubble. Break it. Drag the brake. He was like, what? Drag the brake? I'm like, yeah, drag it. Get to so I can get connected. And so we were having a good time, and I like the strategy of it. So the next gen puts on some good plate racing. So I like that.
They're fun at plate racing until you're the last car in line, and then everybody just gaps you. But that's besides the point. But the only thing cool about those cars too at plate racing is the side draft actually works really well.
Yeah,
really well.
So you can literally suck somebody like literally right back.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. It is insane, and it's supposed to get an update in June, I do believe. So it's supposed to change that a little bit more. But you see that in real life, where two cars get side by side, even at 1.5 miles, and it just completely tanks their speed. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Just a wacky car, but cool to have that on iRacing. Let's move on. Riley Duncan has been super quiet. He has not said a word, and he is obviously young, the youngest person in here by probably double. He's, I don't know, half, double, whatever it is. He's 21 years old. Riley, we're glad to have you. You said you were bored. That's how you ended up on the Thursday night series. But are you still racing with a controller? I think there was a lot of talk about that. There it is. There's your championship winning steering. Your steering is right there, controller. So everybody in the late model series rolling their eyes, just taking deep breaths as they got beat by a guy on a controller. But
you're not going to run the 87s in the summer, are you, Riley?
Probably not, to be honest. I'm not really into the NASCAR stuff, to be honest. Mostly just short track.
Oh, we'll transition you real quick.
I don't want to get beat with a controller.
Well, talk to us about it, Riley. The Thursday night, not a broadcasted series, but so I don't really have a whole lot of visual memories of the series, but you were there racing for most of the weeks and obviously the champion. So talk a little bit about that series. Talk about your love for late models and short track racing.
Yeah, it was a little rocky at first, but once everyone got comfortable with the cars, it started getting pretty good. And I had a lot of fun, to be honest. I mean, there's still like a couple things that I think that once they get changed for the next season, it will definitely make it a bit bigger, which will be nice. We had a good car count there for, I don't know, I'd say probably 80% of the season. Then towards the last few races, people dropped out. But this is just all I really do is late model.
Wait. Are you Canadian?
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
We got you. We got him. Get him, boys.
I heard.
Yep, I can hear that already.
If I had an eagle, I'd play it right now. Play the eagle sound. Sorry, Riley. Go ahead, Riley. I heard that a boat, and I said, "Oh, we got one."
Yeah, this is this is all I really do, to be honest. Is like I run anything on a short track. I don't care what car it is. I just enjoy the beating and banging more than I do the draft and stuff.
Yeah. Well, so talk a little about short track racing with a controller. What's that like? And is that something you've been doing for a long time? Have you ever tried a wheel? What brings the controller into it? Why choose a controller over a steering wheel?
To be honest, I'm just lazy. Like I play a lot of other games, and I don't want to set one up and take it back down every time. So yeah, if I had like another rig, I would definitely use a wheel. Like my buddy has one that he got like custom made and all that with the VR. Like I do like that more, but I mean, that also costs a lot of money to get one.
I mean, $60 for a controller versus the thousands of dollars some of these guys spend on wheels. I can definitely see where if you can win with a controller, why would you need anything else? Is it tough to set up iRacing? I know a lot of games like, the stuff that made for consoles are really easy to set up with a controller. Have a lot of assists to help with that. Is iRacing friendly in that department?
No, there's no assists or anything. It's like I've been doing it now for, I don't know, I've been switching back and forth for like probably 6 years, and then I took 2 years off and then came back. But it's really touchy. Like you got to be like, I barely move my thumb and it turns the wheel.
Interesting. And so, well, I mean, how do you deal with tire wear with a controller? That'd be my first thought. Is like I can't stop the fronts from sliding. How do you deal with that? Is that just being very precise, or like what do you do there?
I just stay smooth, really. I mean, like the controller vibrates too, so it's almost kind of like force feedback. Like I can feel when my wheels are sliding.
Really?
Yeah. But no, I don't really have much of a problem saving tires, to be honest. Like I find I can save tires just as good on a controller that I can on a wheel, unless I'm on like certain cars on certain tracks, like street stocks on Charlotte don't work very good for me. Because you got to be
precise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but the shorter tracks works a lot better with the controller, I'd say, because it's not as much.
It's like rhythm,
yeah,
right? Like you're
exactly.
just you're all yeah. It's just getting in that rhythm.
Yeah,
it almost seems like it'd be a little bit easier, huh? A real short track, like at Oxford or something, where you constantly
at
in that
Oxford.
motion.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. But I mean, man, the wheel is nice because you can just do the same thing every time.
Well, and the best part about Oxford, if you get upset or somebody, your race not going well, you just jump off them little things in the middle.
Yeah, just launch yourself.
Well, talk a little bit about the racing. Talk about the season, if you don't mind. And you talked a little bit about that, but expand upon it a little bit. Were you, is there any moment this season that you kind of look back on and go, "Wow, that was a cool moment. We had a good race. Had a good race with this person or whatever."
Yeah, honestly, I gotta check his name again. I know Jamie Mullins. He had I had a lot of fun racing against him at Langley. He drove an absolute perfect race, and I just could not catch him at all. And it was a lot of fun. And then Southern National was really good. I don't think I led any laps until the last 5 laps when we had basically, I think it was like a 5-lap run to the finish. And that was against Chance Taylor, who also was really fast all season. I don't think he got a win, but man, he was definitely deserving of one.
That's awesome. Well, 10 different winners in this series. How about that? Looking at this little spring 2025 stats for the late model series, 10 winners in 15 races, pretty sweet. Average cautions per race 5, 77% laps run under green flag. But if you're not familiar with short track racing on iRacing, that seems about right. I don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, it's over 50.
That's right. We'll take over half is running under green flag. We'll take those. We'll take as many of those as we can get. So, yeah, congratulations, Riley, on Thursday night winning that championship. Obviously, you deserved it. But it seems like there were a lot of guys who were fast enough to be competitive. 10 different winners so far. That's been the most in the whole any season. So, so congratulations on a fantastic season. And fantastic to everybody that ran that. I do believe it was somebody help me out. I know Keel did some of it, but it was either
Jacob Linke. Yeah.
Oh, Jacob Linke. Okay.
Yeah.
So great job by those folks running that. Fantastic. I know there's some frustration with how messy some of the races were going, but that's short track racing.
Hey Riley, have you ever said to anybody, "Hey, sorry man, my controller disconnected"?
Yeah, I have actually. That happened to me at North Wilkesboro, the first race in the season. I led almost every lap, and then like the last, I think it was like a green white checker, and my controller disconnected, and I put myself in the wall.
Oh.
Well, it gives you something good to throw too if you get real mad. So.
Oh yeah, there's lots of holes in my wall.
We leave out the Jake.
Look at Jake. Jake, you might want to start racing on a controller. You give you something to throw.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. These are good enough. Headphones are good enough.
Yeah. They don't really.
The ones I have now are actually pretty durable. I threw these a couple of times. I haven't broken yet. So.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like headphones you can, I don't know. We could rank the computer peripherals that are best to throw. We can have to do a tier list next. But it seems like headphones you could throw at drywall and it doesn't really do any damage. Where you throw a controller, it's sort of dense, and so it could definitely get into the drywall. So
True.
Yeah. So I think controller is probably the worst of the worst. Headphones are at the top of the list. I don't know. You can't really throw a mouse. It's sort of attached unless you got a wireless mouse.
Yeah.
I throw my mouse all kinds.
Oh, you do throw your mouse?
Yes, I do. I would rather throw my mouse than throw my controller, to be honest.
I've probably bought 10 mice in the past 10 years, so overthrown them.
You're a mouse thrower?
What's funny about that is after you throw a mouse, you you don't really think about it. You think it's still working, but then a few weeks later, you notice, well, it's double clicking where it shouldn't. And it's doing weird things.
Yep.
Then pretty soon, I'm back on Amazon ordering a new one, and I'm blaming somebody that took me out at some race. It's all his fault. I got to buy this mouse now. So,
Don't ever spike an Xbox controller like a darn football, because
Oh,
we lost him.
I had pieces of Microsoft X.
I've done
Joseph
that.
is bouncing around. I think
He's got a heck of a-
He's driving.
I don't
he's
know.
got
if
a
this-
heck of a motion rig.
Is it? Yeah. He's like Brandon Evans.
Oh wow.
It's East St. Louis. Dang it.
Well, yeah, congratulations to Riley again for an incredible season. But then we move on to the tried and true Premier Series, and that is the Friday night SAVE22 Truck Series. And well, Pat, you're able to get it done. You got something for us? Oh, look at that!
Wow,
Got another one coming. But yeah, go ahead.
Got the championship belt, and I got one for both shoulders.
oh jeez.
Oh yeah. But what about this? Yeah. What about this?
Hey.
Oh, it's not as cool. I can't put it on my shoulder. Let me try. But yeah,
Mine's just the same
Friday Night Truck Series is still pound for pound the best racing to me. And I don't know why that is. I can't tell if it's the truck, the drivers, the atmosphere. It's probably the broadcast, if I had to guess. The broadcast is definitely the reason why the racing is good as it is.
Yeah, we just want to put on a good show for those guys up in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, exactly. And when it's broadcast that good, you kind of want to race a lot better. But taking a look at the stats, and we'll talk to Pat about this. 7 different winners was actually down from last season, which I think we had 11 different winners last season.
Correct.
Yep.
Crazy. And this season really doesn't change that much. It was a lot of winners. You can see 90% of the laps run under green flag. Incredible job by everybody this year. And we brought in Sky Shrek to broadcast and Logan Threlkeld, and they both said, this is some of the best racing that I call. It's unbelievable, and there's no doubt about it. So much drama, so much up and down. The cutoff races were amazing. I mean, just unbelievable every single week that you guys run. And Pat, you're able to tame Texas. Got your cowboy hat and your 6 shooters, and you're able to get the victory with the championship. Congratulations, man. Talk about that race.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was much different than the previous 2 Texas races went for me because I got I got humbled both on Tuesday and Wednesday. Extremely humbled on Wednesday. I just got the snot kicked out of me, so I had to put some extra work in. Thanks to Jake, he helped me out a lot with some of the long run stuff. Jeremy helped me out with some tips and things like that. And I just put my head down Friday morning and decided I needed to learn how to drive that track. And then I guess I did, because it went green to checkers and kind of pretty much dominated that race. And I tell you, the funny part about the race was it was a little bit of a fuel mileage thing, but the last 40 laps, I think Jake was like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Because I was talking to him a lot because I was just trying to not think about how many laps were left and think about a caution coming out. And I kept bringing up these dumb conversations to Jake. And Jake's like, what the fuck, man? Concentrate on your line. I'm like, dude, I just need to talk right now. I need these laps to click off. And so we had a wonderful conversation for the last 40 laps. At least I did. I mean, Jake, for the most part, was just like, dude, shut up. Focus on your line, man. But no, man. To win in that series, and you talked about it, to win a race in that series is pretty freaking phenomenal. To win the championship is unreal. It has been 2 years since I won a truck championship. It is incredibly competitive every time you get behind the wheel of it. And then you kind of look at the season, and Jake Ham is just kind of dominating a little bit. He won a lot of races there right in a row. Jeremy was winning races, I got a handful of races that I won as well, but it was nerve-wracking. That race was nerve-wracking.
Well, the interesting stat that we brought up during the broadcast is that out of all the Final Four drivers, not one of you had a win at a mile and a half up until that point, except for Levi McCarty, who had won at Vegas.
Oh.
So you guys had not done very well at mile and a halves compared to the other drivers. J-Cam did only won at shorter tracks. You had only won at shorter tracks, and the rest of them too, except for Levi McCarty, who won at Vegas. But outside of that, other drivers outside the Final Four had won no mile and a half. So it was interesting to kind of see how they kind of like the Penske at Phoenix type situation where
Right.
they feel confident if they can get there, they're going to win. And so it was interesting to see who was going to come out on top of that. And you kind of saw Jake Ham, who had been really, really good. You kind of see where his weakness was, which was mile and a halves. And you showed up, and I think what you said, you practiced. You knew you had to because the competition is so good here these days that you have to put in that little extra work. My dad was talking about that. I had to put that little extra bit because it's too competitive. You can't go out there and just well, I've done well at this track in the past, I'll be fine. You got to put in the work to win these championships. And so you got a couple of heartbreaks, and you're able to do a little bit of practice and get it figured out for the race. And you're right, kick butt. It was unbelievable. I don't know, the guys that were in that series, Garner, Ellingson, any takeaways, any good memories from this past season?
No, it was a pretty good season. I felt like the racing was clean for the most part. I mean, I had a lot of fun in it. Congrats to Pat. I mean, that's hard to say, but congrats to Pat.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. But no, it was fun.
Yeah, I'm just mirroring off of what Jeremy said. I mean, it was a great season overall. I mean, a couple of down races for me, but overall, the course of the season, I mean, couldn't ask for much better racing.
Yeah. Except for Martinsville.
Yeah, except for Martinsville.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah. So don't put Martinsville on the schedule. That's what you got to stop doing.
As a cutoff race, Pat.
Yeah. Don't iRacing Martinsville is like.
Yes,
it's like the thing, that little bullet in the nuclear bomb that shoots into the uranium or whatever and causes the actual chain reaction. iRacing and Martinsville's that bullet. And you go right there
at the beginning, before the season even started, we were talking about schedules, and it was like we want to put Martinsville on. We want to put Martinsville on, and the only way we were going to put Martinsville on any schedule was if it was going to be on Friday nights. And we thought that it was going to be like, we're going to be good. Obviously there's going to be a few cautions, that's an inevitable at a short track like Martinsville, but to the extent that it was holy crap. Holy crap.
Yeah, Martinsville in that schedule is kind of like, Barkus going to Coda. I don't think that's going to work out very well.
No.
We
had hope. We had hope, but it ended in misery.
Yeah, somebody spun out in front of me, Pat.
Got spun out in front of you. Oh no, I did.
Yeah,
no, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you spun out.
That's true.
Well, anyway. I tell you one thing. That damn 87 series ain't going to have no night races. I promise you that right now. It's all during the day. We're not doing this night race crap in the 87 series. It's going to be 130 degrees on the track like God intended. That's why he put the sun so close to make the track like that. So you better get ready. We ain't going to be no night races. I promise you.
We got enough paint schemes to go around now, too. That's for sure.
Heck yeah. Well, Ken, you've been super patient. You've been waiting your turn, but you just happen to be the last day of the week. And but we saved the best for last sometimes.
That's true.
I think that's what we did tonight. You're new to the series. You kind of talked a little about your history, but talk a little about the season in a little bit more detail. First off, could just kind of set the stage of the GT3 series, something that Go Locker has sort of done in the past. This time, just overwhelmingly supported by the community. Fantastic job by Tim Jones putting this on, running the show, and big shout out to him and anybody else that helped with that particular series. And it's one that it's one that I've really enjoyed getting to know as some GT3 racing. I'm so excited. But what are you whispering?
I don't know what's happening right now.
My dad's whispering. It's modern
Somebody's
technology. They can pick up whispers.
Dang.
It's like somebody
It must
yelling at
not.
the. It must be. It's like somebody yelling at the drive-through. It's like, okay, they can pick it up normal voices here. Well, look at this. We'll look at the spring stats. You've got 5 different race winners, which is good. Everybody, you would think Ken was the only winner the way we talk about it, but 5 different race winners, 100% laps ran under green flag. Can you believe it? Average
I wonder
driver
why
per
that
race.
is.
Yeah, average drivers per race 17. So, really, really awesome, successful series. And Ken, you were the champion. So, talk a little bit about it. We love GT3 racing here. We can get into the nuts and bolts of all the different cars and stuff, all the different events that you got. But Ken, talk to me about.
No, I love GT3 racing mainly because it's road course racing. Going back to my my roots of oval racing, I was always very good at like Sears Point back in the day in Watkins Glen, and places where NASCAR would run, and I just knew that once we got road cars, and then they came out with Project Wildfire, and I'm sure you guys probably remember that, and all the Trans Am series, which I kind of wish iRacing would bring the Trans Am series to iRacing because that would be pretty awesome. But yeah, so I always had this itch for road racing, and iRacing has allowed me to do that. And I got a wheel about 10 years ago. I bought a Fanatec wheel, and it allowed me to really get good at road racing. Where I had an old Thomas Enterprise wheel, spring-loaded wheel.
Oh wow! Okay.
That I did oval racing back in the day. So it was quite a change for me getting force feedback. So, but yeah, so starting the season and how I was introduced to Goat Locker. It was Eddie Smith that made most of the news on that first race. So I don't know if you remember Eddie.
Oh, the trash driver? Is that me?
That was that was
right.
Red Bull. That was Red Bull. And the soapbox got so feisty that night. I was like, oh, what did I do? What did I get myself into? So I think even you, Patch, had to show up that night and kind of shut it down.
I think I did.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great night. I was there for that.
Yeah, that was that was a really interesting night.
So was I.
But that first race, that was my first race also with Cody, and I think me and Cody ran nose to tail that whole night, and I was like, okay, well, I got some work to do, and so I think he came out the next week and just totally destroyed me. At least I was able.
You awakened the beast.
Yeah, at least I was able to. Stay on his back bumper that first race. And then I don't know, I think the third race or so, then I was able to win a race from him. So we were kind of trading blows here and there. And I had some good races with a lot of different people over the season. I think even Mr. Gardner, I think it was
VIR.
Yeah. You kept me on my toes that race. So I think you led probably half that race.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened, but you didn't end up with the trophy. I think you got second that night, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. I ran better than I was expecting, though, but I've got real life experience on that track. But battling you was fun. You kept me clean. You dove in hard on me. You kept it clean all night. That was a hell of a run, right?
Yeah, there. I don't remember the pass or anything like that, or how I got that one, but that was
I choked as usual.
So, and then later in the season, then I met up with Nate. I think he was brought in as a heavy hitter to defeat me. I don't know. I feel like somebody put him up to that, but we raced a couple races then. And then, I talk about Brian Provo. He was very good. And then, you got Bobby Germain and Zachary Menace. Yeah. Both those guys were really strong. They're just a tick off, So my season was pretty good. I mean, a lot of it was Nate and Cody not being there, and Brian. And if those guys were there, I would have had my hands full. We'd had some really great racing if all those guys were there. So
we can't forget my guy Tim Jones. He got him one too.
Oh yeah, come on. Yeah, Jones got one on Watkins Glen. Ooh, that was a night.
Yep.
That was a night. I kind of lost my cool on that night. I was like, Watkins Glen here, we've been running average maybe 15, 20 cars. Watkins Glen comes, we get almost 30 cars. And then, of course, chaos ensues, Oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. So,
yes, a fun little fact, though, Ken, you talk about like Nate Graham and Brian Provo. Both of those guys are still active duty Navy. So when they can race, they'll show up, and when they show up because they end up just whooping some butt. So it is always fun to have those guys in there with us. So hopefully,
definitely,
their deployment schedule kind of turns back around, and we'll see both of those guys a little bit more.
I would like to see that series grow myself. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a bunch of time where I can run a series every week. I'm going to run the 87s, obviously, this summer season, and kind of take a break from the GT3s. Although I love the GT3s, I really like the fact that I might make a cameo or so once in a while if I got time. But I like the fact that all those cars are so different and they drive so different. And I've run in leagues where the league owners will allow everybody to run whatever car, the car of their choice, basically. And so guys will go in and test different cars. And they'll come in each week with a different car trying to be fast, but they never really are. And the reason is because they never really learn that individual car.
Mhm.
And I'll usually just stay in the same car every week, and if I lose to a better car, then that's fine. But to get to really know one car has been a lot of fun. And so this season, ever since they introduced the Corvette for GT3, that's kind of been my go-to. I was a former Corvette owner back in the day. And so I've always liked Corvettes, and when iRacing had the GTE cars, I was in the Corvette then, and so kind of in the Corvette now. And so unless iRacing breaks it, I don't see coming out of it anytime soon. I think I was in the Lamborghini before that, so I spent a couple of years in the Lamborghini and the Ferrari before that. So every car is different, and that's what makes it so enjoyable. So hopefully, I'd like to see that series grow even bigger. And, Saturday night's a pretty tough night to run a series, too. So the fact that we're getting almost 20 cars on a Saturday night, that's actually kind of impressive in itself. So,
a lot of the newer guys like that series because you're not so on top of each other all the time. You get a chance just to get out on track and run the race. And I think that's another sort of key point about road racing is you're racing against yourself, sort of.
You are. The first thing I always tell people is you don't race your opponents. You race the track. That's the only thing you race. And you might have somebody get in your way, and that's when you need to just apply pressure. But most of the time, you just race the track. That's all you should care about. Yeah. And then, I'm glad you mentioned something else too, Eddie, is the new guys with the sim rigs. Seeing those two new guys, I don't know if they'd ever been on iRacing before. What was it? Taylor Smith?
Tyler Smith, and then Nick Hagan.
Yeah, Tyler, especially Nick's doing fine too. But Tyler, I don't know what his experience level is or anything like that. But he's like somebody that's been on iRacing for a while, and I don't think he's ever been on iRacing before.
No, he is not.
Nope.
So Nate, he still looks new and he's green and he'll get there eventually, right? But Tyler, he showed some really skill. He might be a pretty strong contender here in the future. So
like a fish in water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the GT3s just for what you said, the identity. Something that that I love the 87s for, even though they're the 87 cars, they are functionally the same performance-wise, just because they have the same physics and stuff. The GT3 cars is just that extra step of the cars are all different. They all have their specific things, and it's so cool because it's almost I get bored of things quickly. So what I love about GT3s, if you run a front engine car for a while, and you run that, and you go, okay, I'll run the Mustang, and then I go, all right, I'm gonna try the Porsche, and it's a new challenge. You can't really get bored because you go jump in the Porsche, which by the way, never really raced the Porsche. But the few races that I ran this season, I fell in love with it. So I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to say Porsche from here on out, get really snobby with it.
And then you'll drive something else, and that'll change.
Well, the Mustang is my love, man. The sound of it, the way it drives is unbelievable. But I got in that Porsche, and it was just so much fun to sling that car around. It's such a fun car. So I might be sticking with old Rexy for a while, sexy Rexy. So
yeah. Well, that Ferrari.
I want to come join you guys in GT3.
Well, come on. We need all we can get. We'll take it. If we get a Pro-Am split.
You have to see my Jack Daniels car.
Well, I know that Tim Jones wanted to try to do multiple classes, not necessarily a Pro-Am, but have LMPs or GTPs and GT3s. That's a tall ask. You got to really have a solid field to do that and make it worthwhile. But if we keep growing, get people interested in road racing, which I think is pretty popular, that's definitely a possibility. So if you want to see that, you need to support it. You need to show up and race. If you want to see, split, nobody's going to go through the work of setting up multi-class and you not show up. I mean, it's just we're going to run the one series, I would imagine. But I did talk to Tim Jones, and he kind of talked, I don't know if this is good news or bad news. He talked about maybe raising the incident limit up a little bit just to help with off tracks and stuff like that, which is something that I think I'm excited about because the couple races I ran, I'm not a great road course racer, but I do drop the wheels off from time to time, and I think it was a penalty at 12 incidents or something like that.
Yeah,
That was 12.
And that was it was tough for a lot of guys. So I'm happy to hear that he's considering raising that quite a bit just to help.
If you remember iRacing from a couple of years ago, you didn't have to worry about those off tracks because an off track, putting a tire off in the grass meant instant death.
Yeah.
And so, with iRacing updating the off track, how the cars behave off track, it allows guys to really hustle those cars a lot more than they used to be able to. And that's probably what helped me is racing, those GT cars back in those old days when you couldn't have the off tracks. Otherwise you'd die. People are always amazed. Well, how do you always get these races with 0 incident points? I was like, because it usually meant death, So you didn't run a tire off in the grass or the gravel or anything like that. So
Yeah.
It's like driving the old Corvette prototype. That thing would kill you if you even thought about grass.
Well, that's kind of like, I wish iRacing would change the limits a little bit. Like you go to Coda and you literally run the line they run in real life and you 4X, 2X, whatever the hell it is. But
yeah, there is some tracks. You're right about that.
Well, Ryan Pendleton said one time, it's if I'm cutting the course, like if it's enough that I get a penalty, give me a slowdown. But if I'm not going to get a slowdown, don't give me a 1X. And I agree with him 100%. There's no reason to get a penalty if it's not worth the slowdown. There doesn't need to be an off track.
iRacing has gotten better with some of the tracks. Spa used to be notorious, a big complainer, and they updated Spa, so that changed things too. But Spa used to be like if you just put one tire on the curb, you were getting off track.
Yeah.
And so you'd go 2 laps and you'd have 10 off tracks already. But iRacing has fixed a lot of that. If you notice, if you look at their new tracks when they bring them out, especially like the 3D curbing, which is interesting. The 3D curbing, I didn't realize it at the time, and I actually hated it when they brought out the 3D curbing because I couldn't drive the curbs like I used to. I used to be able to drive. The curbs were the track. You just felt the bump in the wheel, but you didn't think too much about it. You use the curb to loosen up the car or something like that to get around the corner. But now you actually have to think about like how tight you're holding the wheel, how much brake you're putting in. Like Navarro we ran there is probably the hardest track we ran this season. I don't know if the other guys agree with me on that raced there this season, but all the 3D curbs, to be fast there, you have to get up on the curbs. And to be fast on the curbs, you have to like hold the wheel very lightly. I mean, just a very light grip, because if you hold that wheel too tight, then you're just chewing off the tires.
Interesting.
It's little things like that. And if you get on the gas like crazy on the curb, you're going to spin out.
Wait a minute. Did you say you used the brakes at the road course?
Yeah.
I've never used the brakes.
Very gingerly,
Yeah.
Eddie didn't get that lesson.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, the 3D
I hate
curbs,
road
the 3D curbs really changed the way I felt about Watkins Glen. I always kind of liked it; it was fine, but I love Watkins Glen now because of the 3D curbs.
It really separates the men from the boys, those 3D curbs. So if you can master those curbs, and some tracks, not all of them are the same. I think Watkins Glen, Spa, the curbs don't affect you as much as say Navarra and some of the other tracks that where they really impact your lap times. Magello, I think, is another new track they came out with a year ago or so. Those curbs really affect the speed, and so you have to be able to use them to your advantage. And so that's kind of nice. And the rain, I haven't been a big fan of the rain. I can race in it. Thankfully, we didn't have any races in the rain this season, but. Yeah, the rain's something else. I don't know if it's really racing once we get to raining. It's like just managing, what you got for until it stops raining. So, it can be fun, once in a while, but some places just overdo it. And I think iRacing is going to got a lot of rain scheduled for Le Mans, I believe. So that'll be interesting.
Well, it's cool. It's cool to have it there. In real life, you deal with it because you have to. I don't really know how it really works on iRacing. It's cool if you want realism because it's going to happen in real life. But they put windshield wipers to use them, I guess. So I get why they wanted to do it. But yeah, for a while there, every event had rain in it.
Yep.
It seemed like it's just like, come on.
I think it's fun for endurance when you get the change, right? So you'll go. Yeah. You'll run on dry for a while, and then it'll rain for 15 minutes and totally soak the track.
Yep.
And then you have to use strategy, and then you run until the track dries out. That is fun, but you need an endurance race for that. So these hour races, it doesn't kind of lend itself to that kind of racing. So
100%. Well, all right. Well, we turned into a GT3 podcast there for a bit.
Sorry.
No.
That's my love.
Good.
We're
No,
going to 87. We're going to 87.
No, it's my fault because I love GT3s. I could talk about it forever, it seems like. So, yeah, appreciate you telling us about that and all those and being, honestly giving a whole lot of details. That's really good. Excited to have you in the booth coming up in the summer series.
I'm kind of really looking forward to doing that again. So,
yeah.
Truck series. So I'll be in the truck series, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'd have to look at the schedule, but
I think
either way,
trucks on Sunday nights.
Yeah, so excited to have the broadcast stuff rolling. I got a full schedule with all kinds of people plugged in, ready to go. Got some vets with some newer folks. It's going to be a great learning experience. It's going to be a lot of fun, so I can't wait for that. But starting next week, man, we're already getting rolling. We got the 87 qualifying challenge. If you're not signed up, you better sign up. If you haven't, might as well get in there and do it. You're not going to get in unless you sign up. So make sure you go to the 87 part of the Discord, fill out that form, and then we're going to have a qualifying challenge. There's a video posted in there if you want to know what it's going to be like. But it's just a fun event. It's not supposed to be serious. Don't take it seriously. Don't sit here and think too hard about it. We're just going to have fun. We're going to get in there, have a broadcast rolling. We're going to try some things at the broadcast, getting ready for the 87 series. So it's going to be as much a fun process for us as it is going to be for y'all. And we got to give some prizes away that that Pat's got, just a basement full of stuff we got to give away. So it's going to be a fun event. So get signed up. That's next Tuesday at 7:00. We'll get rolling and see who can get in there and make their stop. But we've kept you guys for too long. We appreciate y'all, every single one of y'all. Ken, Alan, or my dad. I read Alan. It feels weird calling my dad by his first name, but that's Jeremy, Riley, Jake, and Joseph. Appreciate y'all for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for what you guys do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
so awesome to have y'all on, and thank you for your patience as we talk to everybody and y'all just sitting there. We definitely appreciate it. Pat, if you got anything else, man, we'll call it here.
No, awesome show. It's always so cool to get people together. People I've never seen their face before.
Yeah.
Some people's faces I didn't ever want to see again. You get all that kind of crazy stuff happening too. But no, as we close it out, man, we're getting ready for the summer series. So come check us out. You can find all week long. We've been running the ads, each individual night, what series is running. So you can check it out on Facebook and all those types of things. We're excited for that to get started. But again, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you're out there and you're struggling, pick up the phone, jump in Discord. It's the reason we exist. You always have the Veterans Crisis Line too at 988. And then look up our guys over there at SAVE22 as well. Check them out on the Tuesday Talk. A lot of great organizations doing a lot of great things. So, yeah, take care of yourself, take care of your buddies, and then we'll see everybody on track.
Hey, don't forget, text Goat Locker, one word, 79848. Make sure you're doing that. If you haven't done that already, if you have, do it again. If you've done it twice, do it 3 times. If you got a friend, family, if you see somebody at the supermarket and you go, hey, you got a phone? They go, yeah, of course I have a phone. Well, text this to that number. Do whatever you can. Post it on your Facebook. You've seen the little graphic. It's there. So if you don't have it, somebody get it to you. Get it out to people. That's super important. So, all right. Well, thanks to everybody that watched. Thanks to all the champions. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to every driver and admin and race control for a fantastic series and season. Looking forward to the summer, but everybody putting in the work. A lot of good work. Can't do it without our great sponsors, partners, and also the leadership team, the admins, race control, everybody that puts in work, volunteers who do work behind the scenes just for fun. Can't do it without all the volunteers here. Nonprofit is made of volunteers, and that's what it takes to do stuff like this. So thank everybody. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see y'all down the road.
Later.
Appreciate you.
See ya.